Hey everybody, David Lesh. And I just did a podcast with Elvis and Barb from Voices from the Bench, episode number 338, titled More Units Don't Always Mean More Profits. And I talked about how to understand your income statement, otherwise known as the P&L. And I got a few comments that while people thought it was good, it was a little tough to follow as a podcast. So I thought I'd create a video to explain some of the concepts. And actually, I'll do it in multiple videos, but I had a few minutes and I wanted to get one done for you now. So here's the first one. Let's say you do $1 million in sales in our example, dental laboratory. And Elvis asked the question, by the way, the first thing I want to tackle is he asked the question at around the 13-minute
Your
mark.
expenses behave differently.
Yeah, it was around the 13-minute mark where he said, why isn't money coming in is just greater than money going out? And why isn't the income statement that easy? And so I want to show you cost of goods sold. So basically, when you make your products, you have three main categories of cost of goods sold. And they are direct labor, direct materials, direct supplies. And I'll just use some numbers that I see I see them. So I'll give you some examples. I'm not saying these are good. We'll just do 1% there. Let's just do this. Okay, so the cost to make our products, total COGS, and this equals 1 million times 36. Bear with me. I just wanted to go through this kind of step by step together because I thought it'd be helpful to do it that way. So in this example, it cost, excuse me, in this example, it cost $590,000 or 59% cost of goods sold to make the $1 million in sales. Again, this can be by month, period, quarter, year, day, doesn't matter. Concepts are the same. After your total cost of goods sold, so after you pay to make the product, your profit, your gross profit, was simply $1 million minus the cost to make the product. Easy. And you had fixed expenses, so your rent, management, everyone that works in the office, salespeople, whatever else. There are other types of ways you can come up with this contribution margins. There's other margins we can use, but we're going to go with gross profit margin for now. So fixed expenses, let's just say total for the month, $250,000. Okay. And so my EBITDA, the money left over, we'll do it with an EBITDA basis, is 410,000 minus $250,000. It says false. Okay. 410,000 minus $250,000. Thank you. So 160 divided by that's the end of the weekend. Sorry, folks. So in this example, this lab has 59% cost of goods sold, 41% gross margin. So gross profit is 410,000. The margin, the percentage is 41%. Fixed expenses of 250,000. So 410 minus 250 is $160,000 in profit. Okay. And so back to Elvis's comment, why isn't it as easy as thinking, money coming in needs to be more than money going out? Well, obviously that's true. But what it doesn't give you is any kind of tools to measure and run the business with. So obviously budgeting is very important. So being able to understand what these numbers are, manage them to what they should be, is very important to reduce COGS and improve gross profit. And then the result of that is reducing your break even, which I want to show you. So your break even is 250,000 divided by your gross margin. And the reason this is critical, and I'm going to show you how profit is really generated, is you don't earn any money at all until you reach break even. So while this lab in this example would think that they make 16%, they actually make zero until fixed expenses are paid for. And the only way you're going to pay for fixed expenses is by making products. So your products cost you 60 cents each to make. That leaves you with 40 cents each left over. you've got 250,000 in fixed expenses to pay. You need $609,000, right? If you get equals 609,000 times 41 cents each, 41% is the 250,000 in fixed expenses. Another really good way, there's an article on my blog about KPIs I did in LMT where I talk about looking at your COGS items in dollars and cents. So it costs you 36 cents on the dollar indirect labor, 22 cents in materials, 1 cent in supplies. So your total cost to make the product is 59 cents on the dollar. That leaves you with 41 cents on the dollar left over to pay your fixed expenses of $250,000. So how many times do I need 41 cents to pay $250,000? I need it 609,000 times. Now, how is profit generated? It's dollars above break even. Okay, so once I paid my 609,000, this equals my $1 million in sales minus my 609,000. It's my dollars above break even times how many dollars I made after I paid for the unit for every dollar, after I paid to make the unit. So it's $390,000 times 41 cents on the dollar. Okay, and there's my $160,000, same as before. The biggest difference is that doing it without this realization, this would have you think that you'll make $1 million, excuse me, you'll make another 160,000 on the next million. So at $2 million, you'd make $320,000. But that isn't true at all because granted, your fixed expenses might go up a little bit, right? Add another customer service person, maybe you brought in salespeople, whatever. But let's say you go to $2 million, let's put these back to percentages. These percentages don't change. Unless, of course, you work to reduce your cost. Your cost would reduce your COGS. But let's say that we're not changing that for right now. 1% go, there we go. So these won't change. The numbers will double, right? 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So these haven't changed at all, but the numbers double because they move in a linear fashion with sales. That's what COGS do. But the fixed don't. But even if you added a sales rep, I mean, I just went to $570,000. I was at 160. So even if I had to spend $150,000 in sales and marketing, consulting, whatever else to get here, I'm still at $420,000 in profit on 2 million versus $160,000 at half of that. So it's not that you make 16%, okay? Now you're at 21%. But that same salesperson, the same consulting advice, the same everything could probably get you to 3.5 million. And now you're at 30%. Okay. Why? Because you're break even now at $400,000. Let's say you did trade shows and some other things. Now you're at 425. Okay. So now my break even is my 425,000 divided by 41 cents on the dollar. That's $1 million to get to break even. I have $2.4 million above break even. So my 3.5 minus my million is 2.5. And I made 41 cents on the dollar. For every one of those dollars above break even, I made $1 million. So according to the original way, if we would just think that we made 16% or 10% or whatever your profit numbers are, you'd be very wrong and you wouldn't be motivated to grow the business. And so the point is when you understand your break even, when you understand these numbers, it motivates you to grow the business, knowing you're making, in this case, 41 cents on the dollar above break even. And then there are a lot of other things you can do to improve profitability because growing sales, doubling sales doesn't improve these numbers, right? But if you work to improve or reduce cost of goods sold, if you can get cost of goods sold to 50%, leaving you 50% in gross profit, now you're dividing your fixed expenses by 50 cents on the dollar instead of 42 cents on the dollar or whatever it was. So my break even goes, what was it before? From $1.3 million to $850. And now I have more dollars above break even. And then for every one of those dollars, I'm getting 50 cents on the dollar. So now I'm making $1.3 million. So a lot of different strategies to obviously grow sales and improve profitability. But really, I think every lab owner needs to understand what is their cost of goods sold, what is their gross profit, and their break even, which is the result of fixed expenses divided by gross profit. This applies to any lab of any size. It applies to any business. So let me know your thoughts. And as I say on YouTube, comment, like, and subscribe. I plan on posting more videos. Maybe I'll do another one related to this podcast today. I'll probably do a few over the course of the week. And so let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great rest of the weekend. Bye.